Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and I've got to be honest with you, I've kind of forgot how old I'm getting now, by the way. I just felt that vibration in the force in the old shoulder blades. It doesn't feel great, but what does feel great, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm sitting here talking to you about a much happier subject and a much happier mood as Rangers progress in the Cup. Not all teams in the top flight of Scottish football can say that, given what's happened today, but we've done our jobs, we move on, and that is what we're here to talk about. Rangers 2, St Johnstone 0. And look, it wasn't exactly the greatest game in the world, and I'm certainly not going to sit and happy clap and say, oh, that's us, back to our best, baby. We are cooking, we are on fire, and we are on our way. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite go like that. Life isn't quite that simple. There was quite clearly holes in the game. There were some iffy performances, there were iffy moments. We did maybe ride our luck on occasion, but that's sort of where we are right now. That's given where we are as playing as a team and some of the weaknesses we've got in our squad. We're going to have to come to expect that. It's not going to be fixed overnight. There is major deep problems in the squad, especially in the starting 11s we can select. These holes and ugliness are always going to be there, but at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't be happy when your team wins, if you can't see a bit of joy in the fact that your team's won the day and progressed into the next round of a cup competition, what you actually supporting a team for, you know what I mean? It's the highs and lows, it's the ayes and yeses, and that right there has to be celebrated. We won, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a wee bit in that, because we know how difficult this game could have potentially been. As we mentioned in the intro, there were several teams in the top flight of Scottish football that got knocked out, taking their eye off the old ball in terms of the cup competition, thinking it's all done in air before the whistles went. I mean, Hearts got absolutely scanted by 10 men Falkirk today, and they're supposed to be the second best team in this division. They're supposed to be this. They've been still celebrating that draw with us a couple of weeks ago. You know what I mean? Look what happened to them the day. So I think coming up against here, where again, yes, you are against St Johnstone, but they're a top flight side that was set up perfectly for them, given the way the atmosphere was. Because we saw the crowd, it wasn't exactly filled to the old rafters the day, and I'm sure that some people, as I've already read online, I've read in the comments section below, some people are making their presence being felt and letting their unhappiness be felt by the actual board, making it as clear as day they're not happy with the run-ins of this football club. They're entitled to that. They're fans. They've spent their hard-earned money piling it and firing it in to this football club, so they can do however they wish. I'm not saying they're right or wrong on that occasion. Where you were there the day or you weren't, it doesn't make you any less of an actual fan. We've all piled money into this actual football club, but again, that type of atmosphere can feed a team like St Johnstone that's there to park the bus and make an already nervous Rangers team that's no got the full backing a team even a bit more nervous. So again, I can sit here and see positives for that game, and I'll be happy tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be sleeping tonight because we won. That's how it's going to be, and nothing and nobody will take that away, because by God, I need a win this weekend. And just like every game, it's different, and there's storylines that need to be discussed. That's why we're here to actually talk about it. So let's go and talk about some of the people then, especially some of the individuals, as we saw 5 changes from midweek coming in to this game. The likes of Czerny started the game and actually played over 77 minutes, I believe, or round about there anyway, before ended up coming off. A little bit frustrated for me, sorry, I'm not meaning to start off with a negative, but the fact that he plays 77 minutes versus St Johnstone 3 days later, he can't start a game of that magnitude versus Dynamo Kiev, I'll let it go, ladies and gentlemen. But you saw the likes of Proper again, back in at the starting 11, we'll get there in a couple minutes. You saw Sterling, you saw Hefty come back in, and of course you saw a guy by the name of Danilo. We also saw Dowell, well, apparently some of us actually did. Blink and you miss him, genuinely, in that occasion. But Danilo started this game, and this is his first start in terms of competitive action for nearly 9 months, or it might just be 9 months, and you could see that for the game of football. I don't know how you're feeling about Danilo's performance, because again, he did miss 2 gilt-edged chances, especially one of them, which I mean he has to actually bury it in the back of net, but it's a step in the right direction, and I feel like his type of performance you saw the day could have maybe been helped if he was maybe subbed in to the last 5-10 minutes of the previous games. Build him up, then release him for the actual start. I think all the people that's been overly critical on Danilo and calling him for this and that and saying he's a duffer, again, it's his first competitive bit of action since December, and again, we've not seen him in like 3 weeks since pre-season. So again, I thought his movement was sharp, I thought he looked pretty good. I think we can look at it with some positives, but again, I imagine it's if you're a half full type of guy or a half empty. I saw at least movement for Danilo. Never saw the finishing, but again, did we really see that when he's back fully fit and firing last season? Probably no. But again, he came through it unscathed, sure, a bright 45 minutes, and he will be important if we are going to be doing anything this season. And I wanted to mention Danilo briefly before diving in to Dessers, because if I just start with Dessers, everyone's going to sort of try and pile on and say that I'm also being negative to him. I thought he was alright in the game. He was clearly miles away, but he's not had exactly much minutes to get up to speed. There's clear rust on the actual laddie. But I want to talk about the positive with Dessers, who came into this game after some criticism. For me, I thought he was really poor midweek. I thought he was really poor versus Dynamo Kiev. But to be fair to the lad, he came in the day in a game that was gone wrong, that was nervy, that wasn't pretty. And you could argue that he put the team on the back and scored a big goal. One of the criticisms of Dessers is not scoring a big goal or scoring a meaningful goal, if you actually will. Well, that one right there, with the way we're playing and the way we're looking and the way St Johnstone were creating chances up to that point, that there is a massive goal for this football club, no matter the opposition or what round it is in a cup. That's big right there from Dessers, and you've got to say, he came in for 45 minutes, scored a goal, got 1 assist. There's genuine arguments that the man should have finished the game with 2 assists. Now, granted, the second one where I went to St Johnstone is he put it on a plate for Sabidi in the 91st minute, but thankfully, the St Johnstone player missed the absolute sitter, sorry, and I imagine the only person more scared in the stadium than me after that brief moment was the sponsor that went ahead and picked Dessers as the man of the match 60 seconds before it. His arse would have been clapping with that. But again, thankfully, Sabiri missed, and we twisted it in our favour and went ahead and scored the second goal that truly wrapped this game up with no controversy. I tagged to it now, again, for all the circumstances and the controversy around the Dessers goal. We're going to get to it regarding the actual match recap, but for me, I'll give respect to Dessers. Came on and won us the game. But was he my man of the match? Nana. Ladies and gentlemen, it's for one of the few times in our entire relationship me and the missus have agreed on something, as we both agreed that probably Hefty or Jeffty, Big Jeff, if you will, was our man of the match. And the rest of the players that impressed me, or maybe not so much, we will now cover in terms of the match recap. So let's go ahead and talk about it then, shall we? Again, made some changes in the game. Rabbi Matondo, I think I said proper started, but he obviously started midweek, but Matondo started, so that was one of the other 5 changes as well. So we started the game off. Did we start well or anything like that? Nah, no really. And if I'm honest with you, I thought the poor start was really set in motion, unfortunately, by Captain Tavernier, as I thought he was rotten in the opening 10 minutes. Now, you know I'm a bit of a Tav fanboy, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I mean? I usually defend him, and I have done a lot over the last couple of years, but he's just not playing well right now. You can't really do right for wrong, and for every time he tried to pass the ball, it seemed to go to a St Johnstone player, and his shots that were normally his saving grace from maybe saving his blushes in other areas, especially defensively, his shots were barking as well. So you're looking 15 minutes into the game, there is very little quality, and Tavernier seemed to be one of the main culprits, gifting the opposition away and letting St Johnstone off with slack play. Again, didn't want to be saying that, but that's the way the game was unfolding. But thankfully, the 2 biggest mistakes that Tavernier made with the ball gifting St Johnstone didn't actually result into a goal. Now, it did result into a ball going across our 6-yard box that could have went anywhere, but we lived to fight another day. We got it cleared, we managed to move on from it, and then in the 14th minute we get the first shot on target as the ball goes to Rabbi. Cherny then gets on the ball, tries to fake it onto his right hand side, but it's well defended by St Johnstone, and well defended is kind of how I felt 25 minutes into the game. And I thought the 2 big centre halves, if you actually will, 6'3" Proper and 6'4" Jack Sanders, who we spoke about yesterday for St Johnstone, were the 2 guys I thought were really making their presence known in the opening 25 minutes of the game. Twice Big Proper got the ball, but again he got stuck in. We did speak about that a lot as well. He's got a wee bit of that. I love to see Rangers players actually dishing it back out because they get it enough. So just having a big laddie, no being dirty, no going out to hurt players, but getting the ball, but not being too afraid to actually make his body into it. And I thought, yeah, he's playing well. And again, unfortunately, so was Jack Sanders, who's 6'4" and was keeping up with Rabbi Matondo in a foot race. How does that actually happen? And the best thing you could say about Sanders' performance in the first 25 minutes is the 2 times he kept up with Rabbi Matondo, and the other one was with Sterling, bursting by him, as not only did he get back to put in a vital slide challenge where it looked like it was going to be a certain goal, he also won the ball back off them and won a goal kick. So the 2 big centre halves were leading the way, if you will, in an ugly game 25 minutes into it. But unfortunately now we need to mention Tavernier again for negativity, because just after that we have a moment where he tries to come into a 50-50, but he does jump out. I don't know what he's doing there, but it gives the St Johnstone player a lot of time on the ball. He sizes himself up, he's in about 5 yards of space, he fires a shot, and to be fair to Soapy, who you know I've been very critical of for a wee while now, it's another big massive block for him, as I think it hits him right in the crown jewels, if I'm honest with you, but it just does enough to nick it on its way out, because I felt the worst, and I felt it in my heart watching it unfold. I still thought it was gone in after the way the angle was. I thought it was gone into the net, but Big Soapy was big in that occasion, and we needed him to be. And again, talking about defences sort of echoing themselves and leading by defence, Soapy's brilliant block there. Couple minutes later, Hefty and Rabi are promising, dare I say. I know everyone hates Rabi Matondo in the comment section, so you're going to scream at me down the comments, but I thought it was weirdly positive down that left hand side. I thought they were pace, I thought they were direct. Nice little bit of intertwining play for them. They get it down the left hand side, cut it in, but it's very well defended. Again, as it looked to be a certain goal for Rangers. And aye, it was a frustrating first half. And frustrating first half only continued over the next couple minutes as we get a ball down the left hand side again from Rabi and Hefty. Hefty this time cuts it to Danilo. Danilo's run's brilliant. He just peels away for his man, but he sends it to the moon, looking like the two Tavernier shots we had previously in the opening 10-15 minutes of this game. So we're thinking, right, unlucky there. And then we zip a ball in from the right hand side. I believe it's actually Dill that kicks it in to Diamandi. Diamandi does well to hold off his man, spins away from him, gets a shot that's saved by the goalie. It's straight at him. Unfortunately, that was a sign of what was to come. But the goalie then bounces it off his own knee. That gives Danilo the opportunity. But to be fair to the big goalie here, he spreads himself well, makes himself big, and it's a tight angle for the striker. But again, Danilo's movement is very good in that occasion. And he is hitting it first time, so that's a positive. But again, the wee man never had much luck in his first start for 9 months. And where Danilo is getting cooked for his 2 chances that he's missed so far, I think Cheney's actually missed the biggest chance of the first half, as Rabi Matondo, who was involved in everything, by the way. I don't think I've really mentioned him much in the actual game. He was involved in everything. I thought he worked his ass off. His pace was great. His end product was just chronic, and it really was. It was frustrating. He should have done more, but the arguments could be made. It was his best performance in a while, and the most threat we've had down the left-hand side for a very long time. And as much as we talk about his end product, he should have an assist here. Is for one of the few times the day he gets it all spot on at the end. You know what I mean? The good run, the interception, drives down, lifts his heels up, chips it to the back post. Czerney's there. Czerney hits the first time. I'm up thinking it's a goal, but unfortunately, again, it's hit directly at the goalie. And we've already mentioned it a couple times, and if you stay through the rest of the video, you'll hear it more times. Left or right, with any of the 5 chances we really had in front of the goal today, we're talking about a completely different story. But aye, that's a big one for Czerney. And he didn't cover himself in glory much after that, as well as a couple minutes later he also gets the ball played to him and masses amounts of space, and he takes a touch, it looks brilliant, and then he balloons it out the bar with the right fit, and you're thinking, it's just no other day. And then you're getting closer to the end of the first half. St Johnstone then have an opportunity. They counter us from a terrible corner kick that Tavernier has whipped in. They switch it down the right hand side of it for them, but at the left hand side, Rangers, they put the ball in the mixer. Sabiri, who we talked about again yesterday, his movement's great, peels away from the defence, hits the volley, and I'm thinking, no, we've no missed sitter after sitter, and they went down and scored just before half time. No, again, please. But all I could hear with the old eyes closed was the ringing of the post, and after watching it back, he hit the post, and it thankfully went wide. So aye, we can talk about unlucky we were with this and unlucky with that, but we got lucky with that one. So maybe, just maybe, it balanced out. But aye, going in to half time, there was genuine frustration as the quality just wasn't there. But Clement had obviously agreed with that, and Danilo got withdrawn from the game. He fit, but whether it was right to start him or not, or should he been built up or not, he was withdrawn at half time. Hopefully unscathed, by the way. I'm actually recording this, not seeing what Clement's actually said just yet, because I've not had much time getting back doing this video, etc, etc. But again, the Dessers comes on, and I thought, yeah, it's the type of day Dessers is going to have, because at least we were getting in the right areas, we just never had the finishing touch. And aye, Dessers is the one to supply it. And you know, my excitement to try and build towards the goal, to try and bring you some good news, I actually forgot about the real way the first half ended with yet another injury. It almost tricked me. I thought it was at the start of the second half, but it was this end in the first half as Robin, after another good bit of defensive play, ends up going down holding the old calf. I hope it's not the hamstring. I'm hoping it's the groin or something like that, and it's nothing too serious on that one. But he ends up limping off the park, making our 7th injury in 15 days. Aye. It's not great. So again, apologies for the mismemory there, but we took Robin off a minute or two before half-time. We go into half-time after a couple wee opportunities or half chances. Dessers then comes on, and I'm sitting thinking, I'll be honest, this is what I was thinking at half-time. I wonder what Cantwell and Hadji's wages together combined or compared to what St Johnstone's starting 11 altogether actually is. I imagine that's really close, and that's where, again, I've got mere expectations, and I feel like it has to be better than what we're actually saying. When you talk about that financial flex that we can have on the likes of St Johnstone, the levels got to be better on that. But again, I know we're punching upwards right now because we're not playing well, it's not feeling well, it's all ugly. So we are working our way through the mud, and ladies and gentlemen, we get through the old mud. That some might say it's controversy, but for me, and I'm probably wrong, as I always am, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like the referee gets this absolutely spot on. And to be fair, it starts with Rabbi Matondo. As Rabbi Matondo plays a beautiful little through ball, Jack Sanders falls over. The referee goes to blow the whistle, but sees it's in a dangerous area. Dessers then fake shots it in to the middle. Aye, that's right, a St Johnstone player fell for the Dessers fake shot. Who's doing the scouting for this game? But then after he cuts inside, it's a brilliant, powerful finish. He goes to celebrate, and then that's when the referee blows his whistle. That's an important thing to actually have. He never blew the whistle before the ball went in the back, and he waited till the phase of play ended before blowing. It's similar with the way they do the linesmen's now, with the offsides crap and everything like that for the game now. You wait to see what happens in case the line is actually wrong, and then there's a VAR check, and I'm saying, alright, what's this? Because again, it looked weird the way Sanders fell, as again, I thought he was having a great game, but Dessers was adamant that he had kicked him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been here before with an attacker getting kicked by the defender and us scoring a goal and it gone to VAR, and I've seen it being given the other way with active possessions and active this, and I don't know. You know, I mean, for me, it's the exact same because Dessers hasn't yet touched the football yet with the St Johnstone player. So the St Johnstone player then kicks it back at Dessers' leg, falls over, and then Dessers goes on to actual score. Again, very similar to the goal that we scored versus Celtic. I think it was early last year, and everything like after the Celtic centre half again kicked Dessers' leg. Now, the reason we were told that goal wasn't given is because it was a foul, because he's stepping and stopping him. So I thought, oh well, we're not getting the actual goal then, and I was going to moan about that, if I'm honest with you. I was preparing to moan about that, but then the goal was given, and I'm like, oh. Now, I don't know if they've changed the rule. I know they had changed the handball rule, and they've changed how they look at things during the summer. I'm going to have to try and read into it, or somebody could let me know down in the comments section below. But aye, it's a bit of a frustrating one because we've seen this exact incident go the other way, but this time it was given. So is that where the controversy is? Nah. No one's wanting to actually talk about how it's the same situation, just ref differently. They want to talk about the fact the referee never blew his whistle if he thought it was a foul. Now again, I'm going to hold my hand up here and say I'm probably wrong. You know what I mean? There's loads of greys here these days. You know what I mean? I usually get stuff wrong. But I thought the referee had to let the phase of play end in case he's actually wrong. Because that's what VAR is there for, to help these incidences. But again, probably wrong. Maybe the referee's supposed to blow, but for me, it makes sense. If linos aren't to put their flag up right away, why is the ref supposed to blow for a foul right away if there is a phase of play that's leading directly to a shot and goal? Do you know what I mean? So I'm not getting the controversy around that action for the referee. As much crap as I give referees, and I'm probably one of the worst for it, especially Scottish referees, although the one midweek was even worse than the guys that we've got in this league. I'd actually say the referee done that well. In fact, that he's actually let it play out and then used the technology that's there to help him rather than cutting his own feet off, blowing the chance dead early before the ball's into the back of it, and then we were all saying, oh, it was never a foul, he's done this, it should have been a goal. I think he's done it right here. So aye, credit to the referee, I think. I'm sure there's going to be people in the comment section telling me I'm wrong, but aye, I thought he done it right. So yeah, I'm not seeing the controversy around this goal. Brilliant for Dessers, and that was vital for his football club. And after the goal and just before the goal, honestly, we were actually playing really well. I thought Dessers picked up a lot of dangerous spaces and maybe just held the defenders back a bit, because there was a nice beautiful 1-2 between Tavernier and Czerny. As much critical as I've been, Tav, that was his best bit he played. Czerny opens up to the left foot, it goes just a whisker wide, and then a couple minutes after that, Rabi again bundling his way forward, again maybe gets lucky with the bounce, but again you make your own luck in life, gets a shot off, but it's straight at the goalie's feet, left or right. It's a goal again, so we're building now, we've got the goal, we're actually playing well. St Johnstone's plan is ripped up, and it was only a matter of time before we added the second. Well, that's how it felt at that point. I don't think many folk would have to wait another 28 minutes or so before the next one went in. But again, we were playing much better now, and I feel like that goal just done everything for the team, where I think there was so much nerves going into this game, and there was that bite or tension to the actual game because of how much stuff is actually going wrong, that goal went into the back of your net, and I think it just settled the players and allowed them to play football. And when we do that, ladies and gentlemen, when we play football the right way, we actually look like we know what we're doing. And it's refreshing to actually see. And I think another reason to why we looked so good in that second half was the introduction of Connor Barron, who probably got, besides the goal obviously, and the second goal that we actually scored in the game, got the loudest cheer of the day when he just ran about like a bulldog, won the ball in the middle and passed it back, because that gets fans up. We like to see that attitude and application and work rate in a Rangers shirt. We like to see it. And again, it brings me back to something we've talked about a lot, especially with Connor Barron and some of the other talents that's in Scottish football, the David Watsons, the Lennon Millers, the Luke McCowans, the Lyle Camerons. There's talent in Scottish football. Connor Barron was also a part of that video we talked about a couple months ago before he signed for this football club, and it just shows you, right, that laddie wasn't even a definite starter for Aberdeen. Let's call it the way it is. He wasn't always in. He was one in, one out, one in, one out. Yet look at the difference he's making to our starting 11. Do you know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because there is quality in Scottish football. I know it's edgy and I know it's cool and it gets clicks talking about how crap football is and how crap Scottish football is and how tin pot, and cool names for abroad that we've never heard of, and it's maybe exciting to actually look to. Sounds actually amazing, but there is quality in this league now. They're not all quality, and again, it's always a risk every single signings, but good players will play better with better players, and Connor Barron has been picked and he's shining right now in the middle of the park because, again, his work rate, his energy, which was always there, was great, but in a Rangers team he's starting to really emerge as a talent, and that can happen with other Scottish players if we pick the right players. No, pick them all. I'm not saying we just have to fill ourselves with that, but if we pick the right talents, you can see how it impacted us. And I think a perfect example of that is look back to when we were a successful side. Look at the way Walter Smith approached Scottish football and what he done with his squad. He made sure he cherry-picked every team in this division's best player, went and got them and added us to our ranks. Again, they all never worked. Some of them that failed, but some of them succeeded, and that's all you need. You need some success when it comes to transfers that can make a difference. And again, Connor Barron's a perfect example of it. Probably the most boring signing out of our summer signings of this and this. But look at who's the fan favourite already. It's Barron. But aye, to salvage some of your Saturdays and not have you sitting here listening to this guy, or they were going to jump over a couple half opportunities and half maybe. Rabi had another shot on target. We were nearly there again. Then more subs started to happen. We started to bring on more young laddies. Like say Robbie Fraser came on, and it was exciting to see him coming on down the left hand side. And it was a bit of a mixed afternoon. His first touch was to swing and miss the ball, but it was great to see his second touch as he gets on it. A wee delicate chip over the St Johnstone player, plays a beautiful 1-2 with Sterling. The wee man runs in the middle, crosses it into the mixer. Dessers throws a left bit at it, but it just goes wide. But it was great to see the wee man, and I thought him and mccaulsand, who came onto the game running at tired fullbacks, running at that, really made an impression in the game. And it goes back to something we've talked about again on this channel. I think that's the way you use young laddies and how you bleed in young laddies. And I thought the way we handled Ross mccaulsand today, look how he looked today, because he's coming on versus tired defenders, and I'm not being disrespectful when I say that, but that's how you work and grow and develop a young laddie. Bring him onto that, get him a bit of confidence, then he throw him into the starting 11 where he's not ready to actually play, and look how well they can actually play. The space that was there because we were winning, the confidence that laddie's got to then run through and goal and chip it is no surprise to me because of the way we actually handled him and the way he was able to come in to that game. That's the way you develop young laddies and give them real confidence, and it was great to see Ross mccaulsand, I should say, slightly different players. One of them scored today. Dillian, unfortunately, never. But before Ross mccaulsand delicately chipped the ball into the back of net. Again, the big chance for St Johnstone. It'll be one to look back at in the 91st minute. Ball comes into the mixer. Tavernier can't get out quick enough to stop the cross. It's a wonderful outside of the foot cross. Goes to the back post. Dessers takes a touch, but unfortunately just brings it down right on a plate for Sabide. And Sabide fires a shot, but thankfully completely misses it. And I think actually Dessers does well to put pressure on him at least. We get away from it, and again 32 seconds where it looked like it should have been 1-1. It's 2-0 as again Dessers is evolved. Ball gets played to him. Beautiful little circle, a wee 360, but no scope. Nah, it was actually an assist as it plays the ball beautifully to Ross mccaulsand, who runs through again. Delicate wee chip, and it's 2-0 game, set and match. And it was beautiful to see the young laddie run through and actually get his goal. It was big for his football club, and that'll be massive for his development, and that's the way he should be actually used. No flung into the firing line, no trying to be a saviour at 20-year-old when he's no actually ready. Coming into games, being able to use his talent and use his attributes, I think that's the best way. Keep our starters and more established players, the Cheney's there, then hit them with the 1-2 way, the actual energy. And that's the way, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that penny is now dropped with certain players who look better in certain occasions. That's great. Ross wasn't too bad either, and I'll take that going in to the next round and Fuller as we get back to domestic football. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That's your game, that's your set, that is your match. It's never dull when you talk about Rangers, and say what you want about Dessers. If you love him or you hate him, you need to talk about him. Why? Because he's involved in absolute everything. And again, wasn't it pretty? I think I've explained that in the match recap, but I'll take it, ladies and gentlemen, and a couple wee half steps forward if we could just tidy up the mess that's actually there. And unfortunately, I think one of the glaring weaknesses and glaring questions is how far Tav is actually off it. Ladies and gentlemen, it might be time if Sterling, who went down a minute or two, then Jerry Maguire does. I love doing references, by the way, that 3 people get, but the end of Jerry Maguire, it's alright. Scroll down, 1 person won't actually get it. He kind of faked us with the injury, jumped back up, so if he can go, you've got to be looking at the right back spot now, because by God, is it rough to actually watch. But again, I'm taking the win. I'm going to sleep happy tonight. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comments section below, and who stood out to you. That would be absolutely sensational. Until next time, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.